For DML after delete trigger, we first create table TBL fruit having fields fruit ID, fruit name, fruit price, and we insert these records. If we see, we can get this table with these records. We create another table fruit audit TBL fruit audit. It contains audit ID, fruit name, fruit price, username, action date, action type. If we execute this is our TBL fruit audit table structure. Here it is not necessary to give any records. If we see here, these two tables are created successfully. This is our trigger. Create trigger, trigger name, trigger delete after, then on table TBL fruit after delete. This is the event as begin, then declare ID, declare name, declare price. These are the variables we declare, and select ID is equal to fruit ID from deleted. Deleted is magic table here. Select name is equal to fruit name from deleted. Select price is equal to fruit price from deleted. Then insert into TBL fruit audit values. These are the values ID, name, price. Then we want system username. So here system username. Then get date. Because of get date we get current date and time, and here delete the action type name. So here we given delete, and this is the statement to show end user print after delete trigger fired at end. We now we execute this trigger. If we see TBL fruit triggers, trigger delete after is created. Similarly, we have created trigger insert after. Create trigger insert after TBL fruit after insert as begin, declare ID, declare name, declare price, then select ID is equal to fruit ID from inserted. This is the inserted is the magic table for insert. Select name is equal to fruit name from inserted. Select price is equal to fruit price from inserted. Insert into TBL fruit audit values. These variable values in the from these variables ID, name, price, then system username, get date, then insert. Here we want to differentiate the actions. So here insert is the action type name, and print after insert trigger fired end. If we execute this, we can see trigger insert after created successfully. Now first we insert one record in the TBL fruit table. Here one row affected. After insert trigger fired, one row affected. Here here one row affected means record added in TBL fruit table. Here one row affected means record inserted into TBL fruit audit table, and this is the message. Because of this we come to know which trigger is fired. If we see here, we can see root ID 4, root name grapes, and fruit price 75 added into TBL fruit. Similarly, audit ID 1, but fruit ID is 4, grapes, then 75. Then this is the username, then action date, current action date and time, then action type, insert. If we want to delete the same record, here we can delete from TBL fruit where fruit ID is equal to 4. Now we can delete the record. One row affected. After delete trigger fired, one row affected. Now this is the record deleted from TBL fruit table, and this is the entry, and this is the trigger which is fired. This entry will not delete from TBL audit table. Instead, it will store in TBL fruit audit table with action type delete. If we see here, we can see now entry is deleted from TBL fruit table, but here entry is not deleted from audit table. It is stored, but here now action type is delete. Fruit ID for grapes, then fruit price, then username, and current date and time stored in action date. Here delete. Action type is delete. If we delete previous entry, if we delete this mango, or if we delete this papaya, if we give here 2, then one row affected. After delete trigger fire, one row affected. If we see here, we can see fruit ID 2 and papaya deleted. Fruit ID 2, papaya, price, then username, then action date and time, then delete. Action type is delete. In this way, record deleted from TBL fruit table and an action done by after delete trigger is stored in TPL fruit audit table. We can delete record from TBL fruit or any table. An entry will be saved in TBL fruit audit table. Similarly, we can restrict any user from deleting the record from table. From that transaction, we have made changes in this trigger. So here alter trigger and execute the trigger. Now if we try to delete any record, if we try to delete is mango, after delete trigger fired, instead of this we give the message you cannot delete. Here we give the message you cannot delete record from table. If we execute this, now we see the message. The record was not deleted, but the message now you cannot delete record from table message. Then 3609 level 16 state 1 line 1, the transaction ended in the trigger, the batch has been aborted. In this way, with after delete trigger, we can restrict any user from deleting any record from TBL fruit table or any table on which trigger is applied. Now we will see another example. In specific condition, record will delete, and in specific condition, record will not delete. If price greater than 200, begin in if price is greater than 200 record will not delete else. Now if price is greater than 200, record will not delete, and if price is less than 200, record will delete. We first insert this record having price 400. Now this record is inserted, and if we try to delete this record having ID 5, you cannot delete record from table. The transaction ended in trigger. The batch has been aborted. If we try to delete this record, mango, and price is 85, and fruit ID is 3. One row affected after delete trigger fired, one row affected. If we see now this fruit ID 3 mango deleted from TBL fruit, and here entry saved in TBL fruit audit table, and action is delete. And if we try to delete this, in that condition you cannot delete record from table. The transaction ended in trigger, and there is no deletion of record from table fruit and no entry in the table fruit audit table. That's all for DML after delete trigger. Thanks for watching.